So can you hear me loud
So,
and clear?
yeah, I'll let you take it away, and then we'll go to Q&A after as you go through, and you can entertain questions as you go.
Amazing, amazing sauce. Hey, everybody. My name is Joe Apfelbaum. I am the CEO of Evie AI, and my experience has been going from a person who was trained to be a rabbi to learning how to build websites and then eventually learning how to reverse engineer Google's algorithm to do search engine optimization for clients. I was fortunate enough to build one of the fastest growing companies in the US called Ajax Union. And through my process, I learned the power of building relationships. Initially, I was doing cold calls to get customers, but I realized that not every client is created equal. And so I started doing networking in person through Vistage, through EO, through all types of networking groups that I've joined. And I realized that my best customers were coming from my relationships, not just from randomly calling people or randomly emailing people. So I started to double down on my relationships. And then I realized when Microsoft paid $26.2 billion for LinkedIn back in 2016, that LinkedIn was going to change forever. And it was never going to be the same. And so I started really focusing on LinkedIn, learning everything that I can, that I learned in my in-person meetings to apply to LinkedIn. And I was able to generate millions of dollars in revenue directly from my relationships on LinkedIn. Currently, I have over 50,000 followers on LinkedIn. And I teach people how to leverage LinkedIn. One of the things that I've been able to accomplish is that I've trained over 1,000 companies on how to leverage LinkedIn. And through my strategies, what I found is that people have a hard time doing all the things I tell them to do because there's so much to do. So I ended up simplifying it into 3 steps: branding, building, and booming. And I'm going to share with you some of those steps today and the exact things that you need to do to be more successful on LinkedIn. But I want you to know it doesn't happen overnight, just like relationships aren't built overnight. The word work is inside networking because it does take work. That's the reality. It takes work. And if you're willing to network, if you're willing to have conversations, if you're willing to build relationships, then you'll be able to achieve everything you can from networking. But if you're just trying to get rich quick, this is the wrong thing to do. Getting rich quick, you go to the casino, gamble, and hope for the best. Let me show you my screen right now so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is Bill's profile right here. If I want to learn a little bit about Bill, what I can do is I can save Bill into an artificial intelligence technology that I'm using called Evie AI. And when I save him in there, then I can open up his profile and I can find him also on Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. I can add him to a list. I can then be able to add him to my CRM. But I can click on networking, click on summary, and I can have the AI read his entire profile and then create a summary that I can use when I'm building a relationship with him. This is especially useful when I'm having a conversation with someone for the first time and maybe I didn't read everything that's on their profile. So I learn everything about them. I learned that he is from Oakland, California. I have his phone number, his email. I have his website. I see his current role, his accolades. I see his industry experience. I see some business intelligence like company insights, target market, growth areas, notable projects. I have conversation starters that are both professional and personal. I have an introduction template on how I could introduce him. And then also I have the ability to discuss his approach. I know exactly what to be talking to him about. So let's say I want to find him on Facebook. I click on the little Facebook icon here, and it shows me his Facebook profile. I see that I'm already connected to him on Facebook, which is great. And now what I want to do is I want to be able to leave a comment on his Facebook post. So in order for me to leave a comment on his Facebook post, what I need to do is select my Facebook persona, which is the AI training of how I would like to be seen on Facebook. Then I could take his information, drag it in here, press generate, and it will automatically generate a comment that I could use on Facebook. So I'm going to press copy right over here. I'm going to press paste. And now it says, wow, Bill, this chat with Eugene is super interesting. I love how we took the Swiss Expo form from blah, 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 blah. It's cool to see, and I'm going to say thanks for having me on your workshop. Okay, so I just added that little thing there, and now I left a very thoughtful comment that's very personable. That's all based on the training that I have that allows me to be able to do this anywhere. So this includes Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and literally anywhere else. If I want to do it on LinkedIn, well, all I got to do is go back to his profile that I saved, which is right over here, click on it, and say See Recent Activity on the side panel. Then it loads all of his recent activity. And what that will do for me is that will tell me when was the last time he posted. I see the last time he posted it 4 days ago. He was live here. Then 5 days ago, he had an actual post. Oh, look at this. I'm going to like his post. I'm going to click comment. And if I'm not sure what to say, I click on the comment generator here. And when I click in this box, it automatically takes all the content, puts it on the side. I press generate. But now it's going to come up with a Facebook type of post, so I don't want to do that. So I'm going to hit reset. I'm going to click on the button here, and I'm going to select a more LinkedIn-friendly comment, which is Joe Apfelbaum's friendly persona. I'm going to click back in here. It's going to pull the comment, hit generate, and now it'll read this post and sound something a little nicer. Now I'm going to press the up arrow. It'll automatically insert the content from here into here. And it says, sounds like an amazing month, Bill. And I'm going to tag him by pressing the @ sign next to his name. Writing by the beach and daily surfing sounds with good food. Count me in. I'd love to know how you're blending creativity with relaxation. Anyone else want to join? Let's make waves together. Okay, I'm going to press that. And now I left a nice, thoughtful comment. If I don't want to leave a comment that's that long, I can cut that comment in half. I can comment over here. You see that? I'm going to reset this. Click in here. I'm going to hit generate comment. And now I'm going to insert this comment over here just like this. Great insights, Bill. It's so true that morning routines can make or break our day. I found that taking a few minutes to reflect on my goal can really set the tone. Now I'm going to say, what time do you put on tefillin? Okay, I'm going to press go. Do you get what I'm saying? Now I'm building. I take it to the next level. If I just would have wrote, what time do you put on tefillin, it wouldn't have been as professional as what the AI wrote for me. Now let's say I want to write a post. So I would go to Evie AI. I would click on the post writer right here, and I would tell it what I want to write the post about. Please write a post for me about how I went to Bill's event and I spoke for his audience, including Zach and Wanda, about how to leverage LinkedIn the proper way. Most people are not properly posting, engaging, and messaging. As a result, they're not getting results from LinkedIn. So I want to train people on the proper way to post, engage, and message. Whenever you're writing a post, make sure to include a hook, main points, call to action, and hashtags. And make sure that you're posting regularly, because if you're not posting or you're posting and ghosting, it's not going to work. Make sure that you're posting, commenting, messaging, and doing all the right activities if you want to generate $100,000 in profit per year. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit generate, and it's going to write a post, and it's going to include a hook, main points, a call to action, and hashtags. And as you can see, it just wrote the whole post out for me. Now I'm going to take a little screenshot here of this particular post, and I'm going to go here, just like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little arrow, and I'm going to point. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Oh, because it selected text. I'm going to press arrow. I'm going to go here, 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 and here. That'll just make it more interesting. I press File, and then I press Save As, and then I'm going to call it Bill Workshop, and then I'm going to press Enter, and now I'm going to go to LinkedIn. Now that I have that screenshot, I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to press Copy right here on the bottom. I'm going to go to LinkedIn's homepage, which is where you put a post, right? The homepage right here on LinkedIn. Then I'm going to press Media. I'm going to select the file I just saved into the pictures thing, which was Bill Workshop. So I'm going to press B, Bill Workshop. Let's see, Bill Workshop right here. And then I'm going to press Next, and I'm going to paste in whatever I just wrote with Evie AI. You see that? Want to turn your LinkedIn presence into a powerful tool for business? I recently had the pleasure of speaking at Bill's event. I'm going to tag Bill here. Bill Gal. Right here, Bill Gallagher. Bill Gallagher's event, where I shared insights on the amazing audience, including Zach with a K and Wanda, on how to leverage it out. Now, if I want to tag Zach, I press the @ sign next to Zach's name. I find him on LinkedIn, right here. I just tagged him. Is this you, Zach?
Yeah, Joe, it is.
Okay, great. I tag Zach. Now I'm going to tag Wanda. If I want to tag Wanda, I go here, Wanda Mitchell. Is that you here? No? Is that one you? Is that one you? Are you my mother? Are you my mother? Are you my mother? You know the book, Are You My Mother? Is this one you here?
No, I don't think I have one.
You don't have LinkedIn?
No.
Okay. All right. That's okay. I'll tag you on Facebook after. Want to leverage again. It's surprising how many professionals want to miss it. But here's the truth: if you want to generate 100,000 profit, you can't just post and ghost. Consistency is key. Regularly posting, commenting, and messaging is Here's a few tips. Boom, 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 boom. If you found this helpful, give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. And I'm going to say, what do you post about? And I'm going to press post. And do you see how long it took me to post? It didn't take me much time to post, and I just posted. I recommend posting once a day, every single day. I happen to post a lot in general. I do. I post a lot in general. I'm constantly posting on LinkedIn. So if I post something, I can always edit what I posted. But the idea is I want you guys to be posting regularly in a meaningful way, because if you're posting regularly, you're going to start getting results. Most people are just not posting at all. And if you're not posting, you're really, really missing out. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a second. I want to drive something home. If you want to be successful on LinkedIn, you need to have the right strategy. I believe that the right strategy will save you a decade. Most people are spraying and praying. It's okay to spray and it's okay to pray. But if you want success on any platform, you can't just rely on the tool alone. You need the right technologies and you need the right strategies to be married together to get results. I help people create strategies for LinkedIn that includes a business plan, a marketing plan, and a LinkedIn plan. Those are the 3 types of plans that you need. You also need to target the right people, and you need to target the right centers of influence, prospects and centers of influence. Prospects are the people that are prospective clients, and centers of influence are people that are in the position to refer business to you. You also want to make sure you have the right promise, the right pitch. What is a right promise? You need to figure out what are the things that your potential clients want. What are they afraid of? What are their pains, goals, dreams, and fears? And then once you could figure that out, figure out what promise you could make that will solve their pain and help them be able to get results. If you have those 3 things, the plan, the people, and the promise, and you have it together organized, now you have your branding in order. Now you have your foundation in order. Once you have your foundation in order, it's time to move to the next step, which is your assets, which is building. You need the right stories. They say that features tell, but stories sell. Why do stories tell? Why in EO is Gestalt so important is because if you tell someone what to do or you share advice, coaching without permission is criticism. And so instead of telling people what to do, tell them a story, maybe what you've done for a customer. For example, Sarah came to me and said, Joe, I've been sending people messages on LinkedIn and I'm getting ignored. Why? I said, A, I looked at your message and it sucks. You're talking about yourself. Nobody cares about you, even though you're pretty. Number 2, you're not trying to solve a problem for them. You're not talking about their pains, their goals, their dreams, or their fears. What you're saying doesn't matter to anybody. And you're also speaking to everyone. If you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to nobody. I said, instead, start telling stories. She started telling stories using our framework. And in the first 6 months, she generated $500,000 in revenue as a result of the same activities she was doing before, but implementing the plan, the people, the promise, and the story. Do you see the way I just told you a story about Sarah, about how she shifted what she did without me coaching you and telling you what you should do? You, by me telling you the story, will infer that you need this as well. The next step after stories is presence. You need to have the right presence. That means you need to have the right identity, summary, and history. Then you need the right technologies, the right automation, the right assistance, the right pieces of technology to save you time. I can do things on LinkedIn that would typically take anybody else 3 to 4 hours, and I can do it in 15 minutes. You saw how quickly I wrote a post. You can do things very quickly if you learn the right skills, the right technologies, and the right automations. And once you have your assets in order, then it's time to start taking action. I call it booming. And by the way, if you're here live, just write boom in the chat. I love booms. I love when people boom into Zoom. So boom into Zoom, boom into Zoom, boom into Zoom, boom into Zoom. Zach just boomed into Zoom. Thank you, Zach. Andrew, can we get you to boom into Zoom? Are you doing something else? He's like, listen, okay, Wanda said boom into Zoom. I love that. Boom into Zoom. We got some more boom into Zoom? If you're watching the replay somewhere, just hit boom into Zoom. let me share my screen again and walk you through a very specific framework that I love walking people through. Framework is called the Symptoms and the Keys to Success framework, and everyone should have one of these for their business. On the bottom of the pyramid is where most people are. They are absent. They have a profile, but they're not logging in. Or maybe they don't have a profile. They're absent. They're not there. Wanda's not in the party yet, but Wanda, I officially invite you to the LinkedIn party. It's a place where 1 billion people are there, 22 million millionaires in the United States. They're all on LinkedIn. All the executives from all the Fortune 500 companies are all on LinkedIn. The presidents, former presidents of major companies, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the place you want to be. You want to meet Bill Gates? LinkedIn. That's where he's hanging. You see, I see his posts. I comment on Bill Gates' post every time. And what do? I promote myself in his comments. He only has 37 million followers. I'll show you how I do it. But if you're absent, it's because you don't have the awareness. You don't understand how important LinkedIn is. You don't understand that on LinkedIn, you can see everybody's first name, last name, company name, where they worked before, often their email and their cell. You can see everything about somebody. So if you're looking to build a relationship with a prospect, why not use LinkedIn as leverage? LinkedIn is leverage with information that you get. Number 2, the second person is the person who logs into LinkedIn, but they're mostly watching. That's 60% of people that are on LinkedIn are mostly watching. They're watching. They're the silent majority, as they're called. And they're watching because they don't have the right plans, the right tools, the right hacks to be able to work smarter. So if you're absent or you're a lurker, in the chat, write absent or write lurker. Let me know where you are in the ladder of success. And then there's the networker, the person who does things sometimes, but they're not consistent. They're dabbling. They're the networkers. If you're a networker, write networker. You need accountability. You need a community. And if you're an influencer, then you need to give back and make a difference. Now, I have a 3-step process I walked you through, which is strategy, assets, and action. Within strategy, once you get your plan, your people, and your promise in order, then you can create a persona that represents you with AI. That's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. That is a powerful, powerful tool to have. Then we can optimize your profile, come up with all your ideas, and then we can start building your assets, which are your stories, your posts, your lists, who you're going to be targeting and who you're going to be monitoring, and your templates to make sure that you have all the templates that you need to quickly be able to use LinkedIn properly. Because we don't always want to rely on AI. Sometimes we want to have our templates ready to go. Next, we want to make sure that we have all the right technologies. We want to make sure that we're using the right version of Evie AI. We want to make sure that we have the right community. And then we want to make sure that we're taking all the right actions each day. By the way, if this is valuable so far, write valuable in the chat. I'm curious to know if this has been valuable to you so far. My goal is to help you be able to get some actionable things that you can put in place today. And those actionable things will help you be able to drive more business. One of the things that I love to do is to create a dashboard with all of my connections. So let's go to LinkedIn and look at my LinkedIn dashboard real quick. I'll show you what it looks like. Everyone should have a dashboard. This, for example, is Ahuva's dashboard. So in Ahuva's dashboard, I'm going to make it smaller so you don't see all of her contacts over here. Just like that. In Ahuva's dashboard, you can see people's first and last name. You can see their URL, their email address often, their company name, position, connected on date, Google search, all that information. And then we run her through a process called Recognize, Strategize, Prioritize. Now, this is a bonus that we give to our bundle clients, our clients that get the bundle. And if you want to get the bundle, we're actually bundling in $10,000 worth of training for just $984 a year, which gives you access to our pro software and all that information. And if you want information about the bundle, you can just text the word bundle to 973-841-8868. That's 973-841-8868, and you'll get the info that you need. Enough about that. So if I clicked on, let's just search this person up in Perplexity, or any of these people, I can click right over here, and it'll automatically do research on this person for me with an AI agent and automatically pull up his email, his website, all his information, who he works, where he works, and you can ask Perplexity any question about this person related to your business. Like, write me a proposal for this person or whatever, because it already did the research, but it pulled it out of your dashboard, compiled all the information from LinkedIn, and sent it over to AI to help you be able to do what you need to do with one click of a button. That is extremely powerful. So, but if I went to LinkedIn and I tried to do this manually, it would take me forever. I see Bill has 8,000 followers on LinkedIn. Bill needs a better strategy to take everyone from there, identify who's in EO, who's in Vistage, who's in YPO, who has what type of business, where they located, all the information, who he's connected to on Facebook, So if I wanted to pull up Bill on Facebook, I would go ahead, click on friends, and I would just start researching all his friends. So I'm going to scroll down here and try to identify, okay, let me just see who he's friends with that I'm not friends with yet, that I should be friends with. So I can scroll down. Right, Bill? I'm scrolling down. I'm going to pull up all your friends. You have a lot of friends here, Bill. You're a famous guy. Look at you. And I could just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and pull up all his friends. How many friends do you have on Facebook?
I don't know. 5, 10,000, somewhere in there.
So the limit on Facebook is actually 5,000 friends. So you can't have 10,000 even if you wanted to. Yeah, so that's the actual limit on Facebook. On LinkedIn, does anyone know the limit of how many friends or connections you can have on LinkedIn versus Facebook? Does anyone know? Anyone want to guess? Andrew, do you want to guess? Feel free to unmute yourself if you want to.
I'm going to guess on LinkedIn it's 20,000.
Okay, what about you, Zach? How many connections do you think you can have on LinkedIn?
2,000.
2,000. Wanda, what about you? What do you think? How many connections do you think you could have on LinkedIn? This is fun.
5,000.
Okay, so on Facebook it's 5,000. Bill, what do you think it is on LinkedIn? Because you're at 7,000 already on Bill. So Zach, he's already at 7,000. Bill's already at 7,000. So how many do you think you could have on LinkedIn?
There's a difference between followers and connections, right?
Correct. There's a very big difference. There's a very big difference between followers and connections. 100, and I'll explain the difference. But what do you think the limit is? Because I don't want to hold you guys in suspense for so long.
I'm not aware of a limit.
Okay, you're not aware of a limit. So let's go into LinkedIn real quick just to take a look. I'm going to go to LinkedIn real quick, and I'm going to click on My Network, and I'm going to click on Connections. And I can see I have 30,000 connections. That's my limit. If I try to add another one, I get an error. So I have to find somebody named Bill and remove that person so that I can add another person. So I can add Zach and Andrew. So I'm going to find someone named Bill. I'm going to scroll down through all of my Bills, and I see this guy over here has this weird thing. I'm going to see if I see I've been messaging him for a long time. So this is an Inc. 5000 person. I've been messaging him for a really long time, and he hasn't been responding to me. And I can say, do you even use LinkedIn? Okay, so I can message him. So I don't want to disconnect from him because he's on the Inc. 5000, but I'm going to search different bills, and I'm going to remove a bill that maybe a random bill that somehow got in. Maybe a bill, maybe a Billy. So I'm going to control-click on the message. It'll open up this message with Billy. Hey, Billy, it looks like we're connected on LinkedIn, but we haven't chatted yet. I'm going to say, if you don't want to be my connection, we can disconnect. Or I could say, do you still use LinkedIn? Now, if I want to disconnect from Billy without Billy even knowing, I could simply click on this little 3 dots here, and I can click on Remove Connection. And I just remove the connection without going to Billy's profile. Because when I go to Billy's profile, Billy knows that I went there. And if Billy checks to see if we're still connected, she will be upset that I disconnected with her. But if I don't even want to go to her profile, I can just disconnect. This is the hack to disconnect without going to the profile. So I can control click on any of these messages to see what's going on. Like this guy's the director of talent acquisition for OMD. You see that? So I see that I sent him a happy birthday. He's never responded to me. So I'm going to say, what are you up to? And then I'm going to disconnect from him. Now, in this case, I definitely going to want to go to his profile. So I'm going to go to his profile. I see that he has 20,000 followers and he's in. And if I want to disconnect from him from his profile, I would click on More and I would click on Remove Connection right here. But in this case, he's a lead for me. So I'm going to click on Contact Info, and I see I don't have his cell phone number here. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a reverse lookup tool that I created that's available with Evi AI Pro called Reverse Lookup. And when I put his information into here, just his LinkedIn URL alone, and I say look up, it's going to pull up everything about this mother. Okay? Everything about this guy. He's not a mother. He's a father. Everything about this guy. And if I want to organize all his information into my CRM, I just press on put it into my CRM, get me all the info that I need. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up his ID as a person, and I'm going to try to use another tool called Apollo.io. Have you guys heard of Apollo.io?
I have.
So I could use Apollo.io and then just go like this, and then go like this, and then go like, I'm just going to search people. and then just go like this with the ID that I got, and then it's going to load up his ID, all his information. And if I want to enrich him, I can click on plus, and I can do enrich phone number. And then I'm going to say enrich phone number. We're going to use 1 credit. Okay, who cares? Use 1 credit. Let's just see what it does. And now I have his cell phone number. So now I'm going to call him and see if he picks up. I just called him. Now I'm going to press the copy button, and I'm going to pop him into my CRM for Bill Will Sty. Let's just see. If he doesn't pick up, I'll call him from another phone number. Okay, so I'm going to look him up in my CRM. Bill Will Sty, right here. Okay, so he's already in my CRM because all of my connections are in my CRM.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Okay.
The person you're trying to reach is...
So he didn't pick up from my Apollo number, but my Apollo number usually goes to spam, so instead I'm going to use my CRM number and see if he picks up there. Okay, so how do I use my CRM number? I simply just refresh the page here that has his phone number there, and then I just literally click on the phone right over here inside my CRM. And I'm using a CRM... Oh. Let's see. And I'm using a CRM that helps me be able to call people, be able to put them into automations, be able to create workflows. So if you do email, if you do message, the word bundle.
This call will
Hello,
be recorded
Bill.
for quality purposes.
Who is this?
This is Joe Apfelbaum, your LinkedIn connection. I've been messaging you for years, and you haven't been responding to me. So I figured, you know what? Let me just give you a call.
Yeah,
we're both in New York.
I got a meeting right now, so I can't take a call right
All right,
now.
no worries. I'll just text you. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Thank you, Bill. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, he has a meeting right now. Glad you took my call. It's Joe Apfelbaum. Let me know when your meeting is over. I have something important to talk to you about. Okay, I'm going to press send. And let's see if he will reply to me later. And I'll get on a call with him and hopefully turn him into a client. But do you see what I just did? Give me a boom if you saw what I just did. Bill, did you see what I did? Was it hard to do this? Was it hard to do this? Is this hard to do?
No.
Most sales teams are not
It takes a
trained.
little time, right? You have to dedicate a little time to sit there and do that, or have somebody on your team doing it.
But I just did this for one person.
Right.
I picked a random bill for one person. I can do this for every person, but I'm building real relationships with people. I'm not looking to play games. I'm looking to really get to know this guy, Bill. I have his 917 number. He lives in New York. I actually want to physically walk into his office and meet with him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to know him. Now, when I called him from my Apollo number, he didn't answer. But when I called him from my 973 verified number within Unlimited Digital Marketing, he picked up the phone. He's like, hang on a second. This is important. So I really want you to think about, once you get it all set up and it all works, then you're in a flow. If you're prospecting, I would say spend an hour a day prospecting. But you don't have to call 1,000 people. You're going to get through to every person. You don't have to call 1,000 people. You call 10 people, 15 people. You do that over the year. That's 2,000 people a year that you're having a conversation with. That's a big effing deal, especially if you're doing it strategically, especially if you're getting conversation starters with Evie AI, especially if you're using all the right tools with the right strategies. Now, in our program, we teach people step by step how to do this. And I just walked you through some of the steps, and I showed you my CRM, and the CRM's available at unlimiteddigitalmarketing.com if you want to check it out. Our agency white labels it, and you can get a free trial and test it out. But it includes everything. It includes posting to social media. It includes automations. When you send the word bundle to 973-841-8868, the reply comes from this particular CRM that I just showed you. So you can set up text messages. You can set up emails. You can set up reputation management. You can set up a full LMS, a learning management system, and a community within it. Has everything you need built into that CRM. My point is that you don't need 1,000 pieces of software. You just need the right software set up in the right way. And if you do it correctly, you can import all of your LinkedIn connections via a dashboard. You can use Perplexity to do searches. You can use make.com to automatically enrich everything. And your life is good. There are many different things that you can do on LinkedIn. And I'm going to show you some other things that you can do. Like, for example, specifically looking at people in specific lists. So let's review lists, because I think list building is really, really important. So you remember when I created this post over here? Remember I created this post? On the left side, I have something called saved profiles. And you can see Bill's here. He's saved in the saved profile. So I can easily tag him by clicking on manage the user's lists. I can put him in here, and I can pick what list I want him in, because I have a lot of lists. So for example, I know he's a podcast host. So I'm going to tag him as a podcast host. I also know that he's an EO. Are you guys familiar with EO, Entrepreneurs Organization? So I can add him to the EO group. I could also say, well, we had a conversation this year, so I can add him to my Conversation 2025 list. You see that? And I can say he's a Jewish guy, so I'm going to put him on the Jewish people group. You see, because I know that he's into Jews, into like Jewish stuff. So I can add him to the Jewish, I have like a little Jewish contingency over here somewhere. I could also turn him into a client and put him in the clients or the networkers or the influencers or the engagement circle or friend. You see that? Or VIP or EOS implementer. I have like a thing for EOS implementers as well. So if I want to find all the EOS implementers or the scaling up implementers or whatever it is, I can just put them in here. So I'm going to hit save. And as you can see, all the tags were added. So if I want to see all the podcast hosts or all the people in EO, I click on EO, and it shows me all the people in EO. Do you see that? And if I want to see more people, I can see more people. I can keep scrolling down. So if I want to see if John Lim from EO posted recently, I can click on see recent activity, or Trisha Marshall, or Casey Colton, or Casey this, or Joe Giviani. I'm going to hit Joe Giviani. I'm going to look at his profile, and it will load every one of his posts from 3 hours ago. Look. And then I could use Evie AI to generate a comment in just a few seconds. Do you see the way I did that? Just a few seconds. We're inspiring journey, Joe. It's amazing to see how you pivoted and focused on the legal market. Your commitment to specialization really shows in your power of clarity. I'm going to delete the I'd like to hear more lessons, because that sounds stupid to me. And I'm just going to click on his name, and I'm going to press comment. And now I tagged him, and I'm one of the few people who actually commented. And I'm going to click on his name now. I'm going to click on contact info, and I see his phone number is not here, so you know how I can get it already, right? But I'm not going to do that now. But I do have his phone number anyway in my contacts because we're friends. I'm going to press message here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to reset this. I'm going to click message. Now I'm going to click the microphone on the right here, and I'm going to say the following. Wow, that post you just created was pretty inspiring. I'd love to reconnect with you. Are you open to have a call later tonight or maybe later this week? Now I press the up arrow. It goes right in here, and I press send. I didn't even need AI to generate it from scratch. It generated it from what? From my voice. So you see the way I posted. You see the way I engaged on people's posts. And you see the way that I commented and I sent messages and I used my authentic voice. That's the key. In the chat, I want you to write the word authentic, if you can spell it. Write the word authentic, because authentic is the key here. The key is you don't want to be a robot. I don't like when robots communicate with me. I hate it. But if someone picks up the phone and says, who is this? I'll say, hey, it's Joe Apfelbaum, your LinkedIn connection. I can't talk right now. No problem. Can I text you? Sure, text me. You get it? Now I text him, and he's not surprised when Joe Apfelbaum texts him, because he knows who I am. We're on LinkedIn. I said, I've been messaging you for a while, and you haven't replied. He's like, I'm going into a meeting. I understand. Can I text you? Do you get what I'm saying? Permission to text, permission to message, permission to call. This is authentic. This is real, and that's very rare that people do that. It's not common, but common sense is not common practice. If your entire sales team did this, how big would your business be? Probably bigger than it is today. Probably more successful, but your sales reps are afraid of calling people because they don't have the ammunition they need. The consultants you know in your world are afraid of interrupting people. But if you really believed in your products and services and somebody has their phone number online, interrupt them. Most people have their cell phone number online. You just look at their profile, you'll see their cell phone number. Did you know that you can just search 917 on LinkedIn and find tons of cell phone numbers? Do you want to see me do that? Check this out. I'm going to go back on LinkedIn. I'm going to type in 917. Just do a search just like that. Then I'm going to click on people. And look how many 917 numbers exist. So let's just call a random 917 number from this guy who's the vice president of sales for a printing company. I'm not even connected to the guy. So do I really care if he blows me off? Like, we're strangers. The guy doesn't know me. I don't know him. This was totally random. I'm testing it out. I don't know if this is going to work. This might be a huge, huge failure. But let's see. Doesn't look like he's very active. He posted last 9 months ago. Maybe he's
This
not.
call will be recorded
Hello,
for
this is
quality
Scott
purposes.
Shustansky. Please leave a message, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hey, this is Joe Apfelbaum. I saw that you put your cell phone number on LinkedIn, so I took the liberty of calling you. Scott, I noticed that your profile looks really sexy. It's really nice. However, you haven't posted in 9 months, and you have thousands of followers. Do me a favor. Give me a call when you get a chance. My number is 973-841-8868. Or you can just reply with the word bundle if you want to see my bundle. But the truth is, what I want you to do is I want you to start leveraging LinkedIn properly. I see that we have Robert Levin, who's a good friend of mine, and many other mutual connections, actually 268 to be fully honest with you. So give me a call, 973-841-8868. I'd love to chat with you and teach you how you can leverage your 4,930 connections to take your business to the next level. I know this is a long voicemail, but it was well worth it because I probably put a smile on your beautiful face. By the way, I love the way your shirt matches the background photo that you have. It looks really classy. All right, talk to you soon. Have a great day. Boom. All right, that was 90 seconds of love that I gave this guy, but that was one guy. Let's go to the next guy. Let's go to this guy named Gene Seidman, or let's go to Bob Fitzgerald. Do you guys get the point? Jeremy Itzkowitz, or Fernanda. Let's try a different style. We can do Fernanda, or we can do any of these people here. Jody Sutter. Do you see Jody Sutter right here? Her cell phone number is right here. So I'm going to copy this here, and I'll just show you guys how I do this again, because let's see if we can catch a live fish to show you guys how we close a deal, how we get somebody's credit card number over the phone using LinkedIn. You'll be like, what are we doing here? We're literally doing this now, aren't we?
You need to be a Nigerian prince if you
This
want
is
the
Jody
credit card.
Sutter.
Hey,
You've
Jody
reached
Sutter.
My voicemail.
Ugh.
Please leave a message, and I'll call you back as soon as possible.
Okay, we're not going to do that whole thing again. But do you guys get the point? The point is I can text her, call her, email her. I can check out her recent posts. I can leave a comment. She posted an hour ago, and I can leave a comment on her thing. I can call her again if I want. Here, let me call her again. I'm going to press done. We'll call her one more time. Sometimes if you call twice, they pick up the second time because they'll know that you're not a telemarketer. You know what I mean? And I could also label her Jody.
This call will be recorded for
This is
quality
Jody
purposes.
Sutter, and you've reached my voicemail.
It goes straight to
Please leave a
voicemail, so her
message,
phone is
and I'll call you
his
back.
phone is probably off. So I can text her if I want or whatever. But yes, I should have been a Nigerian prince. I would do pretty well as a Nigerian prince. But you know what? I'm a prince from Brooklyn instead. That's where I'm at. Guys, it's not rocket science to be able to call people and build relationships. So you don't even have to do that. If you have connections, you can just connect with your connections. You can ask permission to people to call them, and they'll be happy to speak to you and have a relationship and a conversation with you. So, I'm curious to know what questions you guys have about all this. What are the things that are standing out for you when you see me doing this? And if you want to learn more, I can hop open my thing and just teach you guys a bunch of more things. But, Bill, do you think it's time for Q&A now?
I think it's time for Q&A. So let's open a little Q&A and just have an open dialogue about things. The thing I notice about Joe's outreach, and I get a lot of emails every day pitching people to be guests on the podcast and pitching other lead gen services. And on LinkedIn, I get pitches for everything all the time: investment, tax, lead gen, on and on and on. And friend request, connection requests. And I find that the vast majority of them are not remotely context-based. They're not looking at me, thinking about me. At best, they'll say, I loved your recent episode with who, but I'm not sure if they actually listen to it or if it's so thin, the effort to be, or people will send me a message that is so lazy, they're a podcast production company or whatever, and they'll be like, hey, have you ever thought about having a podcast? And I'm like, look at the top level of my LinkedIn. So there's my opener, Joe, for you. As the others are thinking about their questions, they can just chime in or whatever. But that's the main thing that I notice for me, is that people make so little effort to actually give any context or relationship to it, put an effort into it.
In the world of AI, where everything is going to become automated, the way that you're going to stand out is by being human, is HI, human intelligence. So when you start using human intelligence together with AI and use AI as a tool, it really changes the game for you guys. It completely changes the game, knowing how to leverage AI, when to really inject AI, and when to use your own voice and have AI type it up instead. You know, the key for you is to get on the phone with people. If you're going to be successful, you need to get on the phone with more people. And if you're not getting on the phone with 5 people every single day, then what are you doing? If you're in sales, if you're in consulting, if you're a partner in a company, you need to be having 5 conversations a day. They don't have to be sales conversations. They could be networking conversations. But if you're not talking to people every day, then you're missing out. You're missing out on an opportunity. When I say 5 calls a day, I don't mean 5 one-hour calls a day. That's crazy. Somebody's like, Joe, I get on 5 one-hour networking calls a day. I said, you're wasting your time. Instead, get on 5 15-minute get-to-know-you calls. That's all. And if there's a bigger opportunity, maybe get on 1 one-hour call per day from someone who's a qualified prospect. And that will help you get 5 to 10 new clients per month. And if you got 5 to 10 new clients per month, and they each paid you $10,000 to $20,000 a year, you'd be making a very nice living. Even if they only paid you $1,000 to $2,000 a year, you'd still be doing pretty well. My goal for you is to learn how to leverage LinkedIn in a way that will get you more exposure, more credibility, and more clients. That's really the key. The key is not hoping for the best, but having an actual strategy. Because the right strategy will save you a decade. Most people are hoping for the best. And like I said earlier, hope is a great thing. It's just not the best strategy. So if you guys want to learn this strategy, we do have a lot of education available. We have a lot of training available. And if you want to learn about the bundle, just text the word bundle to 973-841-8868, and my CRM will reply with the actual bundle information. So, Bill, personalization, that's the key. Most people are not personalizing anything. And with AI, I can personalize everything. You saw the way I was able to download all of your Facebook connections?
It's interesting. You downloaded all of them, or you downloaded
all of them? Every single one. I downloaded every single one of your 2,500 Facebook friends. I put it into a spreadsheet with a click of a button using artificial intelligence. I'm able to now tell me which one of your Facebook friends are my Facebook friends, which one of your Facebook friends are my LinkedIn connections. So for all the clients that get our Ajax Union blueprint, we have something called the LinkedIn Authority Blueprint, which I spoke to you about, Bill, a while back ago, to create a proper strategy done for you. So with Evie AI, it's more do it yourself and we'll train you. With Ajax Union, that's our done for you service. We have something called the blueprint. What we do is we take all of your contacts from everywhere, put them into a dashboard, and we help you make sense out of it. And then what we do is we write posts for you, we write content for you, we help you be able to come up with all your templates, we help you with everything that you possibly need to be ready to be successful on LinkedIn. We even create a custom GPT with all the data that we collect and all the data you give us so that we can start talking to that GPT and having a relationship that understands who you are very, very thoroughly, trained in who you are. That's what the Ajax Union LinkedIn Authority Blueprint is all about. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to ajaxunion.com/blueprint. And we only do a handful of blueprints per year because I'm really focused on serving a community where they can do it themselves. You know, when I built my agency to have 75 full-time employees, I realized one thing. I don't want to be herding cats. I don't want to be having hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of employees and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients. It was too much for me. I started losing my mind with the whole culture thing. And I realized I want to work from home in my underwear. I'm not wearing underwear right now. That's TMI. I'm kidding. Of course I'm wearing underwear. I'm on Zoom. That's irrelevant. I don't know why my mind went there. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter if you're on Zoom, if you're wearing underwear or not. What it matters is if you're showing up and building relationships, and that's what I want to do. And now we have 19,000 users in 37 countries around the world. There's 1 billion people on LinkedIn. There's 3 new members every second on LinkedIn. And more of the younger generation are moving from where? From TikTok, from Instagram, from Snapchat, and they're going to LinkedIn because LinkedIn is the only professional social network with 1 billion people on it. So if you learn how to leverage LinkedIn together with artificial intelligence, it can change the game for your business. That's the idea. And so my vision was, don't have an agency where you have to do all the work, and if you maybe take away 10% of your revenue into profit, you do well. Have a business that you can scale up to 1 million users and be able to be much, much more profitable. And I can pay people 20% commission to send me business on a reoccurring basis through my affiliate program.
It's cool that you have AI like improve, like giving you the start, like speeding it, easing it, and then you're editing it a little bit. You're not just clicking the AI and letting it do all the work. It's AI assisted. So you're like, oh, I don't like that line. I'm going to cut that line out. I'm going to add a little bit other, and you have your own voice to it. Like your responses tend to be more verbose than I would say. You'd say a little bit more and that kind of thing, but you're not afraid just to jump in on things and say, hey, I love that. And you get it started with the AI tool.
100%. And you know, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to just ask, do the others, Zach, Andy, etc. Do you have any questions? Thoughts about how you'd apply it or what you do with it?
Yeah, I had a few questions written down. Joe, 30,000 connections, that's a lot. What was your process? Like, how'd you do that?
I send out 20 connection requests every single day. Every single day, I send out 20 connection requests for the past 10 years. So every single day for the past, till I hit 30,000, I was sending out 10 every day. 20 every day. Yeah. Every single day, 20. Eventually, I got to a place where I don't need to send out any more connection requests because I'm full. Now I have 1,000 people waiting for me to connect with them. So what I do is I'll remove people and I'll add new people. I'll remove people and add new people. So that's my new process. But to get to 30,000 followers, all you have to do is add 30,000 connections. The way that I add 30,000 connections is I make sure that I send out 20 new connection requests every single day. If you want to do it weekly, send 100 a week instead of 20 a day. If you want to do it monthly, well, send out 100 a month because you can't send more than 100 in a week. They disabled that feature. Leave 5 to 10 comments a day. So every time I leave a comment on a person who's not connected to me, they often will send me an inbound connection request because they want to be connected to me. Attend networking events and share your LinkedIn URL in the Zoom chat. So this way people can find you very easy. Add your LinkedIn URL to your collateral, like your business card. Add your LinkedIn URL to your business networking one sheet. And I'll show you what my one sheet looks like if you guys want to see it. But I have a QR code on my one sheet that shows exactly how to get to my LinkedIn profile. And when you go to my LinkedIn profile, you're able to, I'm able to see that you looked at it, and then I can send you a connection request. So let's say, for example, I was on a plane recently, and I had a very wealthy guy sitting next to me, but we were talking about kids. We weren't talking about business. And I didn't want to suddenly turn it into, so tell me, what do you do for a living? Because I thought that would be weird. So instead what I did was I pulled out my business networking one sheet and said, I just printed my QR code here. Could you scan this and tell me if it works? And so he scans the QR code and he pulls up my LinkedIn profile. And instantly on my LinkedIn, I see he looked at my profile. So now I see he has a solar company with 5,000 employees. The tune just changed. He went from being my nice little friend to now being a prospect. So I look at him and say, wow, that's pretty cool that you scanned it. Did you know that your profile comes up on my profile when you scam it? He's like, good one. I'm going to use that. He's like, how do I get my own QR code? I looked at him and I said, click on the search box in your mobile app. He clicked. Then I see, do you see a little icon that looks like a QR code there? He's like, yes. He clicked on the icon and a QR code was generated for him on the fly inside LinkedIn for LinkedIn. And I said, screenshot that. Anytime you want to meet somebody, you're in first class like this on a United flight, and you want to meet somebody that's sitting right next to you and chat with them, tell them to scan your QR code so you know who they are. He's like, dude, this first class ticket was just paid for itself by you just doing that. Thank you. I said, I go to conferences all the time. I meet people. I don't know who they are. I don't want to ask them who they are. Now I can just tell them to scan my QR code and I'll know who they are. That's epic. And I'll never forget because I can go back to my who viewed my profile and look them up. So I don't have to forget, hey, who was that person that I looked at? Who was that person that I spoke to? So anyway, so I have people scan my QR code all the time. I put it in presentations. I say scan my QR code. I have people visit through my email signature. And that's how I grow my list, is by commenting on people's posts, making sure that I'm constantly promoting my LinkedIn profile, And that helps me be able to build my list. And also, of course, sending out 20 a day. Zach, does that answer the question?
Yeah, Joe, just one more layer of maybe question on the 20 a day. I think that I've seen that hey, do you really know this person? What's their email? What is their phone number? Do you just use that reverse lookup tool when that happens? How do you get around that?
Yeah, so if I don't know who this person is, if I don't, what I do is I will customize the note to the person. If I'm sending out 20 a day, for example, if I'm sending you a connection request right now, Zach, I would use Evie AI to help me customize the connection request so that I actually mention something of value that we're a special connection that we have. So I'll show you that example right now. I'll load up my LinkedIn right now and just kind of show you that example. Do you want me to show you in real time how I do that? How I add a custom connection note with AI?
Sure.
So if I go into Evie AI, I'll do it from Tammy's account so you can see. Hang on a second. Let me pull up Tammy's account real quick. I'm going to go in here. I have a separate profile where I have my business partner Tammy's account. So I'm going to open up LinkedIn from Tammy's account just to kind of show you from a different account how it looks, not from my account. And I'm going to look up Joe Apfelbaum over here, and I'm going to find his recent post from Tammy's account. You see Joe Apfelbaum's recent activity here. Then I scroll down, and you can see everyone's recent activity. Or you can click on Evie AI on the side, click down, and then click on See Recent Activity, which will load all of Joe's recent posts. Now, remember I tagged you in that post, Zach?
Yes.
So now I can just click on your name that I tagged, and it takes me straight to your profile. And if Tammy wants to connect with you, Tammy can just hit the Connect button here, add a note, and then Evie AI is right in this box. I just press Generate. It'll write a note that is a relevant note based on your profile and who she is. You see that? I press Insert, and it says, "Hey, Zach, I admire your work as a co-director of Evergreen Learning Center. I'm interested in learning more about your programs and how they might align with my network. Let's connect. Onward." And I press Send, and now you got a message from Tammy that was customized directly to you. And I didn't have to write that whole message, Zach. Do you see what I just did? That's powerful. Now I could save your profile into Tammy's Evie AI account, and then I can put you in a particular list by clicking on the little drop down in here. You see that? Click the drop down, add you to a list, and I can add you to one of her lists. Or I can click on Search Profile, and I can search for you on Facebook, Instagram, Google, X, YouTube, TikTok, and so on. That, for me, is extremely powerful. But that's just a tiny little bit of what you can do with these technologies. The key is to have a proper note and customize your note in a way where the person sees that you took the time to say things to them that make sense. So in your case, I would use the microphone and say, "Hey, it was great to meet you at the workshop today," and then let the AI tie that into the whole message.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Gotcha.
So I recommend sending out 20 connection requests every day, messaging at least 10 of your connections each day, leaving at least 5 comments per day, writing 1 post per day and publishing it. If you do those 4 things, 20, 10, 5, and 1, you're going to 10x what you're doing on LinkedIn. And if you use a tool like Evie AI to do it, and by the way, you can try it completely for free. There's no credit card required. You can go to evyai.com, and you can try it for free. If you want to get the deal that includes $10,000 worth of training, go to /bundle, and you'll be able to see that deal, and you'll be able to access it right now. But for all of you, the key is not necessarily to overdo it. Get yourself a dashboard. I'll show you my one sheet just so you can see what my business networking one sheet looks like, and everybody should have a one sheet. So if I go back to Joe's profile, I'm going to go back to Joe's profile right here just by going to the back button here. And then I'm going to click on Joe's profile. You're going to notice on Joe's profile, he has 3 featured posts. You see this one right here, this featured post, Bill? This one is called the Business Networking One Sheet. And when you get the blueprint, we design it for you. But if you want to use Evie AI can quickly create this one sheet for you, just the content of the one sheet, in just a few seconds. It'll just create the content for the entire one sheet in just a few seconds.
I think it's interesting you make your QR code link to your LinkedIn, and that way you can always see who's coming to you. I will do like give people a hi, hello thing, but that's a very one-way kind of a QR code. So they get my info, but I don't necessarily have theirs, and I'm not reaching back out to them.
Yeah, if I go to see who looked at Tammy's profile, she hasn't had millions of people look at her profile. But if I see a sales director from the San Francisco media is going to go to her profile, hell yeah, I'm going to send her a connection request. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Or Eric, for example. I see Eric is right here. I'm going to click on contact info. He has 27,000 connections. Hell yeah, I'm going to pick up the phone and call Eric. He just looked at Tammy's profile. I'm going to go ahead and call him. Why? Why am I going to call him? I'm going to call him because he looked at Tammy's profile, and Tammy's my business partner. So what the heck? Why not call Eric? I got his number from his LinkedIn. I pressed the call button. You guys see how I do this. And let's just see how this works. Will this work? Will this not work? I don't know if it's going to work or not. He might pick up. He might not pick up. But if he does pick up, I'm going to have a conversation with
This
him.
call will be
Hi,
recorded
Eric.
for quality purposes.
Hi, Eric. This is Joe Apfelbaum. Can you hear me?
I can.
Thank you for attending the session today, and thank you for looking at Tammy's profile. I got notified that you looked at her profile. Is that true?
I think so.
Okay, that's cool. And I heard that you wanted to get the bundle. Am I right about that?
Yes, I'm interested. I'm actually in a meeting right now,
Okay.
though, Joe.
Can I call you a little bit later, like maybe 7 or something? Is that okay? 7 Eastern?
Later this afternoon.
Yeah, like
would be
4 your time. Okay, I'll call you around 4
great.
your
Yep, that'd
time.
be perfect.
Thank you,
That'll
sir.
work.
You're a gentleman
Thank
and a
you.
scholar. Bye.
Have a great day.
What just happened, guys? Tell me what you just saw, what you just experienced. The power of connectivity, the power of real relationships, the power of taking things to the next level. Where did I find his cell phone number? It wasn't in my CRM. You saw, no name came up for it. It wasn't in my CRM. It was in LinkedIn, under Tammy's account, not even on my account. And some other person, I said, I saw you looked at Tammy's account. Did you see it? Did you look at it? He's like, yeah, I did.
You got to know. Talk about the difference between a follower and a connection.
A connection is somebody who you sent a connection request or they sent you a connection request and you guys accepted it. That means you have a bi-directional connection with them. You're both connected to each other. You're both following each other. If I go to someone's profile, like Bill Gates' profile, and I send him a connection request, he's not accepting because he's probably at 30,000 already. He has 37 million followers. So I just follow him. So you can see your followers. I have 30,000 connections, but I have thousands and thousands of followers. So you can have as many followers as LinkedIn has in general. There's many, many ways to get followers, but you can have as many followers as you want. But in terms of connections, you can only have 30,000 connections. So by default, it'll say follower there, follow me, and you can follow all those people. You can follow people, and people follow you. What I do is I tend to go through my followers to identify who I also want to be connected to. Does that make sense, Bill?
Yeah. So your followers are people that are following you. They're seeing your content, your posts in their feed, their flow, and the people that you have a connection with, you have a two-way thing. You can message each other. You can see more about them.
Exactly.
One is more passive. One is more active, potentially.
Correct. And what I tell people is don't overdo it. Don't try to overdo anything. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. Take one step at a time. Take one day at a time. And just relax. Realize that where you are right now is exactly where you need to be on your journey. And you're going to get where you need to go. So don't stress out about trying to get there faster that you need to get there, because if you add another 1,000 connections in the course of the year, you're not going to be able to have a conversation with all of them anyway. Just make it your goal that over the next decade, you're going to have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 connections because you have plenty of room to grow. But don't try to get to 30,000 right now because there's no point in going viral. I always tell people, I don't want to go viral. Bill, do you know why I don't want to go viral?
No.
The reason I don't want to go viral is because I already got COVID. I don't need to go viral again because going viral doesn't add more business. It adds more noise. The way that you make money is you differentiate the noise from what matters. The noise from the now. Don't go for the noise. Don't go for the shiny object. We're entrepreneurs. We're into these shiny objects. We're constantly going after shiny objects. AI is just shiny object if there's no strategy attached to it. So stop with all the shininess. Stop with the whininess. And instead, what you want to do is build the right strategy. The right strategy will save you a decade. Go ahead, Bill.
You know, I think if you're gonna be a content creator, if you're gonna be a general media personality, virality is awesome. but a lot of times the virality isn't going to help you grow your business that's behind it, right? There's not a just getting a lot of clicks, showing up on TikTok, etc. is not because you said something silly.
That's right.
On a microphone isn't going to necessarily do it for you. And I think about like my Instagram following is because I have a celebrity in my family, or a couple of them actually, and that so there's like a halo. Well, people want to know what I'm doing because I'm somebody's uncle, and but that doesn't drive my business on Instagram. It's amusing to me, and they like everything that I have to say and post, but it doesn't do anything for me the way that, say, LinkedIn does, where I might make a couple $100,000 or $100,000 a year off of
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And using the right technologies and the right tools will really save you a lot of time and effort and energy. And there's a lot to learn when it comes to LinkedIn. So it's not something that you can learn in one day. But if you spend 2 hours a month with me in a live session, even if there's other people there, you're going to learn a lot. And the more you learn, the more you can earn. So, guys, thank you so much for having me. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hearing the feedback from the rest of the people that watch this. And if you guys ever need anything, you know where I am. It's pretty easy to find. My cell